Hello everyone, welcome back to Spiritual Essence, and in this video I would like to talk about my former experience with energy absorption. Energy absorption is, as it sounds, is the ability to absorb energy from something else, whether it be a living thing or an object, because all things have energy, so you can technically take energy from inanimate objects as well as animate objects. I first got the idea from watching a documentary on Michelle Belanger. For those of you who don't know, she's a famed psychic. She's been on quite a few things. The things I know her from are Monster Quest and her multiple debuts on Paranormal State. She is an acclaimed psychic. And she told a story about when she was younger, she was afflicted with some sort of illness and it prevented her from going to school. And, it wasn't getting any better. And she worked with her psychic abilities and learned how to drain energy from other people, and it seemed to actually make the illness go away. And I like Michelle Belanger. She's a really cool person, and I would love to meet her someday. I do believe her when she tells a story. And at the time, I was in high school. I was working with my hand chakras, learning how to send out energy as well as absorb. And I found out that I kind of imagined like a compass almost, or a clock on my hand chakra. And I found when I turned it, let's see if I can remember this. When I turned it clockwise, I sent energy out. When I turned it counterclockwise, I took in. So I found it very, very interesting, I guess I could say. And I wanted to see how far I could go with it. Brain fart. It was counterclockwise takes away, sends away, and clockwise takes in. So, sorry about that confusion. But anyway, so I remember it was algebra class in high school, and there was this very disruptive asshole in class. He had ADHD, so he was like all over the place, disrupting class, and teacher had to tell him constantly to shut the fuck up and sit down. So I decided I wanted to test it on him. So I put my hands like this, both hands, and that way it wouldn't look so weird. And I focused in, and I imagined leeches coming out of my hands and going into his body, and then I used the clockwise technique to take in his energy. And I wasn't sure if it worked at first, but I had focused for a little while, probably like 25 minutes. And I noticed that he had kind of settled down by the end of class, so I wasn't sure if it actually worked. But the next day, he came in pale. He almost looked sick. He looked that pale. And he didn't look good at all. He looked sick. That's what he did. Honestly, he looked sick. He looked like he wasn't feeling well, and he wasn't energetic at all. He was like quiet through the whole class, which was so unlike him. Now, him being ADHD, he could have been off his medication, because I have met quite a few people who have ADHD who, because of their condition, forget to take their pills. I worked with one in my last job, and it was hell. So, it could have been that, but I kind of hope it was me. That way it would be a success. And there were little things that I tried, like, I remember a kid in my class, he borrowed a pencil sharpener from me, and he sharpened his pencil and he gave it back, and I could feel like the energy coming off it. He just touched it for like 2 minutes, and that was it, and it's like, I feel the energy coming off it, and I remember sucking in the energy through my chakras, my hand chakras, and I felt it go through my body. So, like, I had a little bit of success with it, I believe. There were others that I don't really know. I mean, some of them, it felt like it had some effect on them, while others, it had no effect. So, I'm guessing maybe it was depending on the situation. Maybe my concentration was off. I don't know. But there was a reason why I stopped it. I stopped it because after a while, the leeches that I had created from my hand chakras, they started going after anyone, no matter if I liked them or not. And they had a mind of their own. So no matter if I was talking to an acquaintance, someone I didn't like, or a family member, they were coming out of my hands and going towards the person. I had to forcibly get them back, but you could tell, like, they were, like, trying to get out. They were like, let me at him, which scared me, because I didn't want to do this to just anyone, and I didn't really think this would happen. They gained a life of their own, and I think it was because I put so much intention and energy through them. So it took a while for me to actually condition my energy back to normal, and now it's normal. I don't have that feeling anymore, and I haven't done it for years, but it scared me. When you hear energy vampires, when you look up energy vampires, it talks about, like, those who are negative to everyone, they're demeaning or they're pessimistic, and people who are around them tend to get drained by them because they don't even know they're doing it. They just, through their behavior, it happens. But I have never heard in my situation someone who actually is able to purposely drain energy from people. I was at that awkward age where I wanted to be edgy and cool, and I was like, I can be an energy vampire. But now it's like, if I had continued on this path, I feel like my energy would be so strong that it would drain anybody, no matter if I like them or not, friend or foe, So I was very nervous about it. I'm glad that I stopped it. I think more experiments needs to be done before I actually take it out into the real world, though I haven't worked on it in forever. But I want this to be a cautionary tale for anyone who has tried this or experimented with energy absorption. It can be cool and it can work, but there are times when it can work too well. My experience being a big example. So if you are practicing with energy vampirism of that regard, or energy absorption, like I said, just be very, very careful. And if you drain from the wrong person, like negative people, you could bring negative energy into your body, energetic poison, basically. So you got to be careful who you drain from. It's so hard to do velo and use energy absorption at the same time. Multitasking does not come easy to me. So that is another risk. But if any of you do have any experience with this, or know someone who's had an experience with this, could you put it down in the comments? Just like what your experience was with it. Did you have an experience similar to mine? Let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell button so you don't miss any of my future uploads. And be safe, everyone.